Hey everybody, want to thank you all for coming out. Before I talk about the tour here, I just want to give a congratulations, Crew 10. Just splashed down safely. NASA, I'm dual role, dual hatted, so I want to say congratulations to Crew 10 first. But I'm happy to be here with our airport manager, our representative from the FAA, and my good friend Pete Stauber. It's important to come and see the facilities that are used across the country. And there's nothing like a picture to explain what's happening and what you have going on in Duluth. Maybe just as background, I was born and raised in Hayward. I have flown a lot out of this airport. Big fan of the Twin Ports, being a northern Wisconsin guy. But frankly, I didn't realize how bad your tower was. This is a facility that was built back in the 1950s. And if you see some of the footage from the tower, it looks like there's 1950s, 1960s, 1970s technology in this tower, and that's unacceptable. And I think what happened was a lot of Americans thought that their government, their FAA, their DOT was taking care of updating all of the technology that controls our airspace. And the truth is they weren't doing that. They've let it get old and antiquated over the course of decades. And so I'm grateful for Pete's help on this, but in one beautiful bill, or the great big beautiful bill, whatever the name is supposed to be, the Congress gave us $12.5 billion as a down payment for upgrading this system. Now, it's not all that we need. We need $31.5 billion, but the $12.5 billion that we do have is going to go to new radar, new voice switches, new radios, new telecom. We're using copper wires instead of fiber. So all of that's going to happen in those upgrades. We're going to work on the software that you might think you use on your computer. We're using a version of like Windows 95. It's not Windows 95, it's for air traffic control. But we need a state-of-the-art air traffic control system, technology, to control the airspace for the great men and women who work in this tower. We're going to start that development as well. But when I go from $12.5 billion to $31.5 billion, a lot of that money is projected to be spent on the bricks and mortar of the towers, the TRACONs, and the centers that we need across the country. I believe the stat is that if we go on the current plan the FAA has to rebuild all the tower centers and TRACONs across the NAS, the National Airspace, it's going to take us 360 years to rebuild all of them. This is insanity. So I just want to let you all know in Duluth, and I've told this to Pete and to your team here, we're committed to working with the Twin Ports. It's a critical airport for northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota. We're going to continue to work with all of you to ask you to get some more money from the state and local government, and we're going to partner to make sure we find the rest of the resources so you can build your new tower. The plan's already there. You got the site set up. We want to be helpful to make sure you have a great tower, the bricks and mortar, but then we have the technology, the new technology to put into it, so you'll have one of maybe the first state-of-the-art towers in the country. Before I turn it over to Pete, I want to mention one other thing. Many of you have reported that we have issues with the staffing of air traffic controllers. We're about 3,000 air traffic controllers short right now. And I've said many times, we can't flip a switch and turn on more controllers. It takes 1.5 to 2 years for a new controller to be trained up in the Duluth airspace. So it takes time to get our controllers certified in the airspace in which they're going to work. But we have done a number of things. One, we've taken the best controllers that apply to attend the academy. The highest scored applicants are getting into the academy first. The lower scores are going to take a lower position in the lineup to get into the academy. And when we get higher scored applicants into the academy, we can reduce our washout rate in the academy. Right now, the washout rate is 35%. If we get down to 25 or 20% as a washout rate, we get more controllers through the academy, and working in towers across the country. We're offering some tutoring for the controllers. If they're right on the edge, they need a little extra help, we're going to offer them the help. We're able to bring in more instructors, which has been a problem. So all of these things coming together with trying to keep the controllers who are at the age of retirement, keep them from retiring. We're going to give them a 20% upfront cash bonus if they don't retire, and they stay, and they work for us. America needs them to stay on the job. So if we ask them to stay, let's pay them a little more to stay. But all those things are coming together to bring us to a place where we can have more controllers navigating our airspace. And again, I wish Pete could snap his fingers and make this happen overnight. It can't. It just takes time. But what you need to know is that the plans are in place, and we're rolling forward with the structural changes that are going to fundamentally change the way air traffic control in this country works. And I fly a lot. Frank, I think sometimes the FAA hates me because my flights are delayed or canceled all the time. America deserves better. We do deserve better, and there's way too many delays and cancellations. And if it's an equipment problem, so be it. If it's weather, yes, okay. But if it's coming from our system or not having enough controllers, that's unacceptable. And so we're working, and you got to offer some grace, because this is a problem that is, decades in the making. It's going to take months, if not years, to get us to full capacity, but we're doing it. And so just stay tuned. You're going to see the results, in the coming year and years. So again, I want to thank you all for having me. Again, I understand how important this tower is. I understand how important this airport is. I understand how important this region is, because I come from here. And again, I'm committing that I'm going to work with your leadership, your congressmen, your U.S. senators, who, by the way, I get along with very well, on how we can come together and get a strategy, get a plan, and get the resources to make sure you have a brand new tower at your airport. And so with that, I want to turn it over to your great congressman, who I couldn't ask for a better friend and better ally, better partner. You couldn't ask for a better advocate fighting for the Northland than Pete Stauber, and I'm grateful to call him a friend and a colleague. And again, asking me to come up here, Pete, thank you for inviting me and being part of this tour. Pete Stauber.
Thanks. Mr. Secretary, thanks for coming. It was about 2 months ago I met with the Secretary, and I said, we've got an air traffic control tower in Duluth, third oldest in the nation. I need you to come and look at it and understand the immediate need that we have here for a new air traffic control tower. Secretary Duffy said he promised me, he committed, he made that commitment today. I think that when you saw, Secretary, you saw some of the old technology, the basement area that we know floods, the boiler that is on its last leg. This is important for all of us, and for me. Somebody's asked me, how long have you been working on this? I said, since day one after election. It's that important. And we as a region are going to get this done. The Secretary talked about the importance of funding, right? I mean, we had it funded in part of the reconciliation, but the Senate had taken it out. We've got 31 plus billion we're going to go after to improve the air traffic control towers across our nation. But let's get the worst first, okay? The Secretary understands the 148th Fighter Wing is here. We have commercial aircraft coming and going, general aviation, and of course Cirrus and our helicopters in this area. And we want our controllers to be in the state-of-the-art facilities. And so I think that as we work to get funding for this, I know that Tom Werner has committed that once the final funding is in place, it's going to start. There's going to be zero delays, so that's important. That's why we all have to work together. And I want to specifically talk about Natalie Zalesnikar, the representative from Hermantown, who helped secure millions of dollars of funding for this. She understands the value of this air traffic control tower, the economic value that it brings to our region. And so I want to thank Representative Zalesnikar for leading that in the House down in St. Paul. So our job is to we're committed to the additional funding. We're committed to working with all of our partners. And you know, the one big beautiful bill that was passed and signed into law on July 4th, that was a great down payment. Now we're going to continue on with the President's agenda and the Secretary's agenda on making sure that our air traffic control systems, the technology within them, and the workers are the best of the best. We want to, in the United States of America, we want to lead in the gold standard in aviation. We have the people to do it, we have the professionals to do it, and the workforce to do it. We just have to work together with the funding. I know not only the airport authority, not only our legislators, not only our Chamber of Commerce in both Hermantown and Duluth, but regionally, we understand the value of these dollars that are going to go increase the technology, increase aviation. For those of you who don't know, general aviation, commercial traffic is up at this airport, especially when the 148th is flying. And we know that air traffic control tower is going to be 100 and some feet higher. The sight lines are going to be better. The air traffic controllers will not lose sight of aircraft, especially the F-16s during their drill weekends and almost on a daily basis. So I couldn't be more proud to be in this fight. We're going to get it done, but it's going to take all of us together. I'm going to do my part in the United States Congress, House of Representatives, to get it done. So with that being said, thank you all for being here, and I want to turn it over to Frank.
Wonderful. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Secretary and the Congressman for inviting me to come along. Anytime I get an opportunity to see one of our FAA facilities, FAA men, women, the controllers, the technicians, the support staff, it's truly an honor to see the work and professionalism and dedication we see on a daily display. It's absolutely fantastic work. There is challenges for us. Obviously, we have antiquated equipment. This building was built in 1952, over 70 years old. Think how much the aviation industry has changed over the course of the last 70 years. Think how much airspace has changed over the last 70 years as far as competing demands and what we are required to do. The exciting thing is with the antiquated equipment, we have a way and a pathway forward with this new big beautiful bill and this brand new air traffic control system. Controllers will now be afforded the opportunity to work on state-of-the-art technology versus antiquated technology. Yeah. New radios, new radar, new surface awareness initiative. They'll take advantage of the new ADS-B technology that this facility will see very soon. But there's still challenges there because a building of this size doesn't have all the room and the capacity to take on a new tower simulator. Right now it's in the conference room. Conference room was not built for a tower simulator system. But the controllers are making do, and they're doing an outstanding job. To the Secretary's point, we are over 3,000 controllers short. This facility has 10 bright and talented individuals training on air traffic and have advantage of this new TSS system that's actually seeing reduced training times. Our staffing will get better, but we have to be committed. We have to stay forward with our thinking and make sure we're committed to what we want to do because it's the right thing to do. This facility has saw an uptick in traffic of over 10% in 1 year. This year, the traffic demands continue to grow. They're on pace of breaking 150,000 operations, and they serve not just Delta connections and United connections, but the Air National Guard. Cirrus Factory is here, very important to our gross domestic product and what we do. These controllers, these technicians, they support these endeavors. And we have to continue to make sure they have the very best available funding, equipment, and staffing available to them. And for that, I want to thank the Congressman and the Secretary for making this happen. Yes, it's a challenge, but it's also an exciting opportunity for everyone inside this building, and I too am committed to making sure that this comes true. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. With that, I'd like to introduce Tom from the Duluth Airport Authority.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Tom Warner. I'm the Executive Director here at the Duluth Airport Authority, and I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to the Secretary for coming here today, taking time out of his busy schedule, as one of our chief advocates as well, Congressman Stauber, who has been just a champion not only for this airport but for aviation. Mr. Secretary, here at the airport we share your commitment to aviation safety. It's something that we live by every day, and I want to commend you on your aggressive approach to it since taking office. Thank you very much. Over the last 13 years, we have aggressively approached an infrastructure renewal program. Most of it that the public doesn't see on our airfield, but it's incredibly important. This tower initiative over the last few years is just the latest phase of that. It's an incredibly important part of our infrastructure because we know that air commerce can't thrive without great infrastructure. I say often that if you're traveling in and out of Duluth, whether it be on a United flight or in a general aviation aircraft or corporate aircraft, that if you're thinking about the runway, you're thinking about the air traffic control tower and not the loved one you're going to see when you arrive, closing that big business deal on the other end of your trip. If you're thinking about the runway or air traffic control tower, we haven't done our job. And so we've been working very, very hard to make sure that our facilities are the best they can be. Obviously, we have challenges, and I really appreciate Secretary and Congressman Stauber's commitment to helping us fix these challenges. They aren't easy. If they would have been easy, we would have done it a long time ago. So, again, I appreciate the commitment to safety, gentlemen, and your leadership on these issues. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Tom. We'll take a couple of your questions. Before I do that, though, I just Frank, one thing I don't want. We're going to have money to come for new infrastructure in our facilities across the country. What I don't want to do is I don't want to invest new technology in an old tower that then we have to rip out to put into your new tower. So I think it makes sense that if we're going to invest new technology, let's do it one time, not twice. So let's look at what's needed. So in the long run, we're going to save money on this process. That's number one. Number two, I didn't call Pete before I came up today, but knowing that I was going to Duluth and being from Hayward, I just wore a pair of jeans and a pair of boots.
Perfect.
And I fit right in, so I'm very happy with my knowledge of our dress code. I was like, I don't want to wear a suit today. So thank you for wearing your jeans, Pete. I'm grateful for that. The last thing I'm going to mention is we're talking aviation, but I just want to let you all know from the Duluth media perspective that I have been made well aware, and I know the bridge very well. I know the Blotnick Bridge all too well. Since I've been a little kid, I've been traveling across that bridge and fully understand the needs of making sure we get that project going. And by the way, bipartisan, both states, Democrats and Republicans working together. It's really helpful too when you know the bridge itself. So we're all working and teaming up together. Just want to make sure I'm giving you guys that piece of information as we're talking about, Duluth and Superior. So with that, if you guys have any questions, we're happy to take them. If you don't have any, that's okay. If you want to talk about the Lumberjack World Championships in Hayward, Wisconsin, a couple of weeks ago it went on, I'll talk to you about that. Anything?
I'll ask one. Just you did talk about it a little bit, just the importance of it being from the rural community. But if you just want to talk one more time about the importance of this airport for all the rural communities, not just.
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. So obviously this is important to Duluth, and you guys live with this airport in Duluth, but you have to know that this services northern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota, and the small communities that exist in this part of the country rely on this airport to have especially commercial air travel at their fingertips. And again, if you're driving to Minneapolis or Milwaukee, no matter, depending on where you're at, it doesn't work. So it's critical that the small communities that can't drive that far have access to this airport. And again, we have 2 airlines that fly in right now. It's great. Maybe we're gonna get the third back, Tom. Who knows? But again, you lose an airport, you lose access. And so again, I think it's a special group of people who understand what rural America is about, and especially this part of rural America. And you have a gut knowledge of how important places like this airport are to people's access to travel. But it's an economic driver. I think, Tom, you mentioned people coming in doing business deals, making investments, or getting out on sales calls. All of that is critical to make sure that we have a vibrant economy. And so it's Duluth, but it's Superior, and it's the broader region that this airport supports.
I want to add to that if I can. So you asked about the rural airports. So not only did Secretary Duffy, he understands the need for it, but he just mentioned he understands the need for rural America. This administration and this secretary will protect and work with the rural legislators. He's not just in Newark or New York City or DC or Philadelphia or Houston. He's here in Duluth. He understands. He comes from a small town. He understands that rural America is who we are.
Thank you, Ed. Born and raised. Anyone else for us? Yeah.
Funding for this rebuilding the tower. How many built the big bill, or where's all that?
There are revenue sources that we have that we can pull from, and by the way, it's competitive. We look at the needs across the national airspace and where we're going to invest. Had I got all the money that I wanted in the big beautiful bill that Pete was helping me fight for, the $31 billion versus the $12.5 billion, I would have had it for all of the bricks and mortar that we needed. But that doesn't mean we don't have resources. Frank knows this. We have infrastructure dollars that we give out in the form of grants. And what I've talked to everyone here about is I need more from the state. I need more from the local community, because there's a huge chunk for the federal government. We're going to do our part, but I want to see what else you can pull in locally. And Pete's committed to doing that, and then we're going to find out, what that number is and, what we can do to make sure this project goes. And I love when you say they're shovel ready, projects that are ready to go, that this tower could be done in 2 years would be remarkable.
Yep.
So yeah, that's so I don't have it all, but we do have, the FAA is funded, and there is grant money that goes to facilities like this. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of really old towers, right? And old towers where the drop-down ceilings are gone because they had leaks, and the carpet's musty. But this one is unique in that it's small, it's really old, and the technology that you're using, again, is it safe? Of course, listen, our airspace is safe, but our airspace is getting more complicated. And we can't have more aircraft in the airspace and think we're going to be able to manage it with this old equipment. And so to the controllers, they do a fantastic job. And kudos to them, and Frank mentioned that also. Grateful for them. But they deserve better. They deserve better infrastructure. They deserve better technology. If we were using, I'm dating myself, but we'd play Atari back in the 80s, right? Old school. That is like rock star technology compared to what they're using here. And you look at how far we've come in the development of technology and resources. We have to deploy it. And so I was taken by how old it was, how antiquated it was. And again, I would love to tell you that you're all really unique and special, but you're not. In that I look across from community to community, and this is the American story. And I don't want, when we leave, that to be the American story, that we actually have stepped in, that Congress did their part. We've dealt with some of the slowness of the FAA, which they can move slowly. We got to think through how we can do it fast and do it safe. And that's the mission. Listen, thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. God bless. Thank you, Pete.
Good job. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Secretary, thank you so much.